Hello. How's it going? What's happening? I just turned off my mic on accident. Hold on. I didn't think you want to listen to all that scratchy sound. We're gonna hang out for a little bit, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh boy, oh boy. Texas, Texas, Texas. What are you doing? What are you doing, Texas? Huh? Who's in Texas? If you're in Texas, I want to know how you feel about the gerrymandering. The gerrymandering that's happening in Texas. Hello, how's it going? Oh my god, hey! How's it going? How's it going? So we got a lot of things that are happening in this country. We got Donald Trump putting his foot way up his own fucking mouth. So far down his throat that it's coming out his asshole. So, you know. Hey Adrian, how's it going? But surprised we are not. Surprised we are not. It's Donald Trump's on the list. He's not on the list. I don't know Jeffrey Epstein. We were friends. I kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for being creepy. Just kidding. I kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago because he was stealing my employees. Just round and around we go. I really don't know what you came here for. Round and around we go. Damn, now the song's going to be stuck in my head. Posted about the Esther project in your server. I don't think so, Bethy. So today, Texas dropped its brand new gerrymandered maps, and it is aiming to take Republican seats from 25 to 30, which would leave Democrats 8 seats. But I mean, we're seeing other states like New York and California and blue states float the idea of redoing the same thing, but they have different laws in regards to redistricting. Texas, I think, is like one of the only states where they could kind of just do whatever the fuck they want to do in terms of when and where and how they can redistrict. Other states don't have that. So there's some roadblocks there. Not a fun time. You hate it here? I do too. Why is this doing that? I don't. What is this alerts? Why are you giving me alerts? I don't know. Right, California did say that, but we have to look up what are California's redistricting rules because they can't willy-nilly just, redistrict. California would help if I spelled it right. Good afternoon. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find it right now, but of course, it's bringing me up the legal shit, and I just want. My phone is going crazy right now. Good lord. They can't do that, but that's. I can't keep up with the amount of executive orders this fucking guy signs. Like, literally cannot. What the fuck is this? Not yet. Oh, yes, I did get it. Everybody, for whatever reason, as soon as I go live, everyone's like, I have to text you right now. You have a committee for redistricting. There we go. Letty, if you want to come up and talk about California's rules for redistricting, I would love it. Like I said, everybody, as soon as I hit go live, I just got 6 fucking text messages and all of them require my attention. So, exciting stuff coming up. I don't know. Paychecks, are you here? I didn't see you yet, but if you're here, hold on one second. You're welcome. Doug! What up, Doug? Adrian, everybody, thank you for the roses, the heart me's, the go populars, all that stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, everybody needs you, Mr. Sunday Show. I'm gonna send you my text messages. I'm gonna let you handle that. Thank you so much for meeting the goal. Oh, you're cooking? Okay. So Letty said that California has a committee that they have to do. I do need a fucking secretary. Like, I can't. I have meetings upon meetings upon meetings. Like, I can't. It's always something. I'm doing full-time content creator work without full-time content creator pay. So, you know, it is what it is. Now we need to add up our Tiny Diny because y'all know how much I love the little Tiny Diny. Let's find him in here. Tiny Diny Float, where he kicks his little feetsies. We love it. We like it. We love it. 10 is always our goal for the day. There are 250 coins. If y'all could contribute, I would appreciate it. That's just, it's a little thanks. And I appreciate that. Um, just a little thanks from me to you. Because I love seeing his little feet kick. And I know y'all gonna send him because he loves me right back. But yeah, yeah, it would require me to make full-time creator money. If I ever got to the point where I was making full-time creator money and I could pay somebody, I would definitely pay you. I would pay you very, very fairly. Thank you for the heart, me. Appreciate it, Kiki. We got our little tiny dinies up there. I don't know if you guys can hear my phone vibrating. It's going apeshit. I have no peace. I have no fucking peace. But this redistricting is not good. However, thank you so much, Lewis. Appreciate you. The little feetsies. Look at them. It's so cute. I think you guys see the gifts before I do, but I don't know. He's so adorable. You work for Food and Good Gardening Sesh? Okay, that I can do. That I can definitely do. No, I have a lot going on. I didn't go live this morning because I went back to sleep. I'm just, even now, I'm tired. I need to take my medicine. Matter of fact, let me be an adult and do adulty shit, and let me take my medicine. Talk amongst yourselves. Kiki will work for pool days. Fuck yeah. You're hired. I'm still here. You can hear me. I have to take my medicine. Because if I don't, I'm not going to be able to be productive the rest of the day. And I have to be. You're going to move down to Florida? Fuck yeah. Do it. I'll hire you guys for pool days. I have a medical card, so we're in like Flynn. Let me check on the YouTube chat. What's up, YouTube chat? Grey Wolf and Levi, Poppy Lover, how are y'all doing? My thoughts on the EU trade deal, I think it's bullshit. I mean, essentially we went from 0% tariffs to 15%. The tariffs have done nothing but continue to harm the American people by driving up prices. Like I don't there's no it's not necessary. It's not necessary. Oh, my biggest hater is here, y'all. My biggest fucking hater is here. Dun dun. All right, dun dun. You want to get this out of the way, baby cakes? You want to come up here and tell me how much you hate my face this morning, this afternoon? Come on. Come up here and tell me how much you hate my face. Since you come here every single time I go live and you like to tell me. I'm waiting for it. It's my favorite part of the day. When some mediocre man who doesn't even, oh, you're suspended. Aw, Pookie. Pookie doesn't have live access. That's so terrible. I wonder how that could possibly have happened. Dun dun. I wonder how that possibly could have happened. Could it be that you are very mean to people for no reason? I don't know. Could be. In case you're curious, over there on YouTube, Dun Dun every day. Obviously, he can't now. Um, the Disney person. I'm gonna tell Jeff that I'm live. The, his username is Dun Dun with two N's 45. Likes to tell me that I have a long face. He likes to tell me he doesn't like my eyelashes or my lips. All kinds of stuff. Can we get some gloss for that bottom lip? No, you can't. I'll drink my coffee though. Oh, you did? I'm sorry. It was interesting. She sent me a thing. What? Well, thank you, Brian. Brian thinks I'm gorgeous. Thoughts on Israel Gaza humanitarian food crisis? It is a famine. It is a fucking famine and it is a crime. And I'm really glad that the UK is saying that they have until September to get their shit right and then they're going to recognize a Palestinian state. I think France and UK are doing the right thing and more countries need to keep doing that. So, you know, I'm a dime plus 99. That's so sweet. I don't know why Dun Dun hates me so much. I genuinely don't know. I've seen such horrific photos from Gaza. There was one photo in particular that has really stuck with me in terms of the famine that is occurring over there. Um, it was a photo of a 2-year-old child, and it just shows their back. And you can literally see oh, it's giving me goosebumps. Every single vertebrae. You can see all of the striations and outlines of their scapulas. Um, And for Israel to say that it's not what's happening there is just absolutely gross. And so we need to get them food. But also remember, you don't know the person in the request, you can let them up. Um, I can't see the request right this second, but you can let them up. Um, I forgot what I was saying. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. What's going on?
Your screen's it's all black, so I can't see anything, by the way. But question for you.
Sure.
Actually, this is probably I shouldn't ask this on here. Never mind. Never mind. I was gonna
Just
ask
think of
it,
a
but
TikTok friendly way to answer or ask it.
whatever. Never mind. I kind of was gonna ask it, and I realized it's actually probably past and it's inappropriate. So never mind.
Oh, I like
But
inappropriate questions. Ask.
well, no, it's about. No, never mind. I can't ask
No,
it.
do
It's not
it. Do
appropriate.
it. Do
It's
it.
not
Do it.
appropriate.
Do it. Do
It's
it. Do
not
it.
appropriate. I can't ask. I'm sorry. It's not like it's like a bad thing. It's just not appropriate to ask. So I
Aw,
shouldn't.
come on. You're no fun. I'm giving you permission. You have consent. Aw, he dropped. I gave you consent. I consented to the inappropriate question. Oh well. Maybe next time. It's alright. It's okay, friend. Hey, if you ask, like, hey, I have a question, it might be inappropriate, I'm usually like, go for it. Do it. Do it. But if you just come up here and you're like, so, blah, 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 I'm like, no. Like, Dun Dun. Dun Dun does that. He's my biggest fan. Thanks for the roses, Dun Dun. Yeah, sure. I guess. Oh, they were going to talk about Voldemort. I don't care. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't care when people ask me about him. Like, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It's stupid. I feel like it's really stupid to come and ask me questions about that. But you know, you're good, Jamaican. I got on 15 minutes ago. I haven't even been here that long. But what we were talking about uh, Israel and Palestine. Velveeta Voldemort? No, not that one. The other Voldemort. We don't talk about Bruno. Is that better? Bruno? But yeah, we were talking about Israel and Palestine and Gaza, and just the pictures that have come out of there, and seeing just how terrible it is. But what I was saying was, no, because Bruno was good. What I was saying was, in these particular instances, because the level of starvation is so high, you can't just give people food. Food has to be essentially medically administered. It has to be given out in ration, so that it's a controlled eat. Because if not, you can get very, 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 very sick if you eat too much, too fast, too soon. And we've reached that level in Gaza. So it's very dangerous. It's like, what if we can get things in there? Are there going to be people who are able to help those who are starving to death, um, with their nutritional needs in a way that's appropriate? So sad, sad. So things that we've talked about so far. It's been a very fast-paced 17 minutes. We talked about Trump and Epstein. We've talked about Texas, and we've talked about Gaza. I love the questions coming out of the YouTube chat. You guys over there are great. Appreciate it. DR all day? What? What are you talking about, Jeff? We also had somebody who wanted to come up and ask a question, and they decided not to. We have my biggest hater, Dun45, in the chat, who has no live access, so they can't come up and pick apart my face today. I'm sure they're dying about that. How do I feel about Tulsi Gabbard not mentioning the Epstein files? I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me because all of them are like just fierce loyalists to Trump. And so they're going to do whatever they can to avoid it. I mean, that's what he's trying to do too. He's trying to distract from the Epstein situation in any way he can. My hair is flawless. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna be honest with you. That is how I woke up with my hair today. I didn't even brush my hair because I rolled out of bed for a meeting that I didn't have to be on camera for, and so this is how it is. It's a little knotted, but I did blow dry it before I went to sleep last night. See, I'm stuck. I woke up like this. This is how I wake up. I don't always look like this. You can ask Jeff. I don't look so great most of the time when I wake up. Jeff can attest to that after what, 10 years, Jeff? Yikes on bikes. Yikes on bikes. If you guys see anybody in the guest request and you're a mod, just let them up. Just say in the chat that you're going to let them up, because I'm switching like back and forth between... I wonder if I could do this. Oh yeah, I could do this. This works. Nope, but I still can't see the request because the screen is too big. This is annoying. I'm trying. I think I should be able to see it now. Okay. I'm sorry, Brian, I'm not available, but that I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. I am not on the market. That's the best way I could say that. I am not dating at all, period. Thank you so much for all the Go Populars, Robin. I appreciate that. And the heart me's. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Why does nobody want to come talk to me? Why don't the MAGA want to come talk to me? Do I have to put something up, like a sticker? I know that YouTube won't be able to see the sticker, but there also is a line that you can call in. Let me check and see that it's turned on. If you want to call in, we can test it out. I am receiving calls. Settings. I'm going to kick myself out of the iOS device, so we only leave it on web. I know TikTok, you can't see the number, which is fine, because you can just guest request. YouTube and Twitch, you guys should be able to see the number. It's 407-494-4348. Did my mouse just die? No, my computer froze. That's weird. How did my computer freeze? Thank you for all the roses. I appreciate that. Do you think Israel has a huge foreign policies hold on America? Nah, I don't think that they have a foreign policies hold. I really think that the United States has beholden themselves to Israel in so many different ways that it's ridiculous. I don't think that Israel needs us. We shouldn't be funding their free education and healthcare and things like that when people in the United States don't have that. We really need to break ties with Israel, especially in that respect. In terms of like military funding, I don't have a solid opinion one way or the other because I understand that we have obligations. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you. All the tiny, tiny hot dogs and tiny dinnies. I appreciate it. I'm getting more notifications. Stop texting me. I think we definitely need to start cutting ties with Israel and stop funding them. They clearly don't need us if they can spend all the money that they've spent on a G-side. If they've spent all that money on weaponry for this G-side, they don't fucking need us. And they should be focusing their money on their own fucking programs, their own education programs, their own healthcare programs, instead of us helping fund that. Because there's no reason why we can't have that here in the United States, but we can fund it in another country. And I don't care if it was Israel or any other place. If they're committing these acts and they have the money to commit these acts, then echo, 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 echo. Well, thank you, PR All Day. I appreciate you. Come hang out with us. The YouTube chat is pretty quiet. The TikTok chat is usually more active. Twitch is even more dead, but that's okay because I really haven't been streaming that often. I just started streaming again, so you know we'll get it going. I do have something that's pretty interesting. Does anybody remember, if you're a fucker, I'm sure you probably do, Man Tears and Margaritas? It may become a thing for real. It may become a thing for real. So keep your eyes open for that, and your ears open, because it might be a thing. It might be a thing. Stay tuned for more information. It sounds like Magateers and Margaritas. Well, it's a little bit more than just Magateers, because you guys know that I piss off the men folk, especially when I start talking about things like abortion is healthcare. That's the thing, like, people think because I feel like abortion is healthcare, and that people should have access to that healthcare should they need it, that I'm, like, going out aborting fetuses left and right. Like, for me, personally, that's just not something that's on my bingo card. Like, it's just not. But for other people, if that's the decision that's right for you, like, bro, do it up. You gotta take care of you, you gotta take care of your family, you gotta do all this stuff. What is this? Trump administration to launch new private health tracking system with big tech's help. Excuse me? Hold on. We about to read through this together. We about to... Story time! I'm gonna read you a little news story. Have one daughter. That's stuck in my head. The Trump administration is pushing an initiative for millions of Americans to upload personal health data and medical records on new apps and systems run by private tech companies, promising it will make it easier to access health records and monitor wellness. Leaders from more than 60 countries, including tech giants, from 60 companies, including tech giants such as Google and Amazon, as well as prominent hospital systems like the Cleveland Clinic, will convene at the White House on Wednesday afternoon to discuss what the administration is calling a digital health ecosystem. We kind of already have that with Epic. I don't think that we should be using apps to do that. The new system will focus on diabetes and weight management, conversational AI that helps patients, and digital tools like QR codes and apps that would register patients for check-ins or track medications. The initiative, spearheaded by an administration that has already freely shared highly personal data about Americans in ways that have tested legal bounds, could put the patient's desires for more convenience at their doctor's office on a collision course with their expectations that their medical information be kept private. I don't think we need that. I don't think that you guys should be sharing your health information with Google and with Amazon and all of those. We have systems that talk to one another. Like I just said, Epic. Epic is a system that exists that you can share health data between CVS, individual hospital systems. Like, there's no need for that, and it is HIPAA compliant. I am not a fan of this. As somebody who works in healthcare, your health information says a lot about you. A lot about you. And having access to that information, that's gonna, it's not a great idea. It's not a great idea. Could you imagine the government knowing everything about you? I mean, they already know everything about you, but could you imagine that they know that in 1996 at 4 p.m. you went to the hospital because you were constipated? Like, what do they need that information for? They don't. They don't need that information. Amazon does not need that information. You're going to be getting a whole bunch of fucking ads for Miralax, but that's it. Like, they're selling your health information for advertisement? That's crazy. I cannot think of anything positive about this because we already have these things, these tools, these digital tools and online check-ins and medication tracking. We already have these things. What is the app that exists? Shit. I forgot. Health. What is it called? It's not good. MyChart. MyChart currently exists. That's it. B, you and I were right there at the same time. MyChart is already there. MyChart already does that. You have access to your doctor's notes from your visits. You have access to your medications. You have access shared with Epic, and that is shared with other hospital systems. That is shared with places like retail pharmacies. There is absolutely zero fucking reason to be uploading your shit to other apps. Let it be in a HIPAA compliant place. And MyChart is a HIPAA compliant place. Epic is HIPAA compliant. I don't. Can anybody think of a reason why we should be giving Google and Amazon access to our protected health information? I mean, if that's the case, is HIPAA out the window? Because if we got HIPAA out the window, if we're not doing HIPAA no more, who do I have tea? I know so much about so many people when I worked at this place that was concierge medicine that catered to famous people. Woo, the rich and famous. Man, do I got tea for days. Because if we don't got to abide by HIPAA, I can tell you about some famous people who had syphilis. What's up, blonde gingerbeard? Maggie doesn't want to talk to me. So, not Roe v. Wade. Yes, but no. Like, the law still exists. It exists as a standalone. Does it weaken the protections? Yes, it does. But it still exists. Yes, syphilis. They don't. I usually don't get ops anymore like that, Michelle, unless I'm talking about something where they want to. I can't tell you, Firechild. I'm bound by HIPAA. I can't tell you if they're a man or a woman. I can't tell you how old they are. I can't tell you why they were famous. I mean, it could literally be anyone slanging their things. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. You guys would all know who it was, though, if I said their name. Not gonna do that. I didn't give away any personally identifiable health information, so. We good. We good. HIPAA compliant. HIPAA compliant. I wouldn't know, Adrian. Just so curious. You're just nosy. You're just nosy, that's all. So if you voted for Donald Trump and you want to come up and have a conversation about what you feel like is going well in this administration, I'd really like to have a conversation with you. Again, I don't debate people. I just want to have a chat. I want to know where your head's at. I want to know why you think things are going well and what things are going well. Because when there's good news, I like to have good news too. But I just don't see anything positive. I will say that in Q2, the GDP did grow. What was it? The economy rose by, hold on. I think it was something like 3%. I did read that this morning. Yep, I closed it. Because why would I keep something that I was interested in open? But I would keep open 1,700 other tabs. Yes, US GDP is up 3% in Q2. So they're usually summoned by the backgrounds. So that's a good thing. However, comma, we did have a loss in Q1. So she just wants to see why you all support the lies. Exactly. I just want to see why you guys support Donald Trump and his lies. How did you feel about his visit to Scotland and his not so warm receiving? Just things in general, because we have very different viewpoints on the world. And I like to hear how other people's thought processes work. Jomi is back in the YouTube chat. Jomi comes by every day. Jomi, how are you? We don't like each other, I feel like. You don't like me. I don't know you, which is fine. It's okay. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and if you don't like tea, don't drink it. Am I a papaya? Who knows about Amaya Papaya? Brett Cross, what's up, Brett? How are you? My mouse died again. It went to sleep. Hey, TikTok user, how are you today?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm fine, thanks. What you want to talk about?
I was actually curious what you are or what you have been discussing. I didn't see like a prompt or anything. I kind of read a little bit of the comments. It seems like maybe current events, Trump, that kind of stuff.
Mostly just current events and hanging out.
Okay, yeah. What's the news of the day, or at least what have you been discussing today?
We're talking about the gerrymandering in Texas.
Okay, yeah. I think I saw a tweet on it earlier. I think I read a thread on it earlier today, actually, but I haven't really looked into it too much.
So essentially, the Republicans, Greg Abbott called a special session it was initially supposed to be for flood relief, and then they've turned it into this gerrymandering at the behest of Donald Trump. He said that he wanted Texas to find him 5 seats. So they're going to be carving up blue districts to find 5 seats. Currently, the Republicans in Texas hold 25. They want to have 30. So the way that the map works is that it would give them that 30 and leave Dems with 8 districts.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think that probably a more interesting question to me outside of like the specific, this state is gerrymandering or there's accusations of it, what's the answer to stopping gerrymandering federally? Like, because I've read it in several states. I mean, it kind of to me, and I'm like independent. I'm not really big on one side or the other. I've read articles on both states where maybe they're like a Republican powerhouse state, they gerrymander really bad, and then I've read threads on states that are more blue where they do the same thing. So I mean, I'm curious, what do you think about? Do you think anything should be done to stop gerrymandering on a federal level?
I mean, there are things that do happen at the federal level. Like there was cases from Alabama and the state of Florida that were sued all the way up to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court ruled that their maps were unconstitutional because it diluted the voting power and increased voter suppression. So we do have laws.
Yeah,
But the problem is that they can gerrymander, and it takes time for things to go through the court system before they're ruled unconstitutional. Now, if we wanted to get rid of things like that, then just using strictly popular vote would be quite interesting. But that would have to be at a larger scale than just local.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say, I mean, obviously there's rules against it. It is obviously something that, you know, I'm sure legally isn't supposed to be happening. But like you said, I mean, you can't really do anything about it until post-election. So, you know, given that, like, I really do wonder, like, I mean, it just seems like one of those topics where people who are highly interested in politics kind of go round and round about it. And the reality of the situation is that it happens in blue and red states. Been happening for the last 50 years. There's no politicians who are rallying against it. I mean,
sure, there are politicians that are rallying against it.
People are upset about gerrymandering. It's like very interesting.
I mean, there are politicians that rally against it for sure. But we do have laws, and unfortunately, like, some of the things are state dependent. Like we were talking about earlier, Texas is one of the only states. I think it's Texas and Florida are two states that allow redrawing of district maps, like, at any point. And without, I know Texas, like, there's no limit. Like, they could draw the maps this year and draw them next year.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of fail to see exactly how that would be like a positive or a negative point, because, I mean, think about it this way. If you were to draw up a new map, if you were to place in the rule, well, you can't change this for 10 years, I mean, it's beneficial to you because the way that you just redrew your map, you get to keep it for 10 years and you know that it's not going to change. Whereas the flip side of the coin would be if you can alter it at any time. Sure, I mean, I guess you could alter it at any time, but I mean, it just ultimately depends on who writes the maps, if that's a positive or a negative thing. I don't think that's an inherently good or bad thing.
I don't disagree with you on that. However, I think that it shouldn't be like an unlimited free-for-all. Because then what will happen is, depending on who has control, they can continuously redraw the maps to maintain control. Even though, if we look at like the actual voting of the people, it doesn't coincide with the map. I think.
Well, I mean, what's the maps in any of these states anyway? Like, I mean, I would support popular vote just on the premise of like, whoever is in power, if they get to cut up a map every couple of years or whenever they want going into an election, left or right, it makes no difference. I mean, that you're giving people in government the tool that they need to act unethically to give themselves more power. If you're willing to give these people the tools to do that, you deserve the consequences of such.
I think yes, yes, but no. I think if you took a look at the maps and kind of looked at how they changed and why it's an issue, it would make a little bit more sense. Like, there are shards of neighborhoods dipping into other neighborhoods in order to dilute the voting power of the people there. So, like, your neighbors are not voting in the same, like, literally your neighbors are not voting in the same district you're voting in. And that's an issue.
Yeah, I mean, well, again, like, this is, I mean, and I'm not trying to be disingenuous, but again, this is one of those things where it's kind of like,
how do we change that?
It's inconsequential in its nature. And the reason why is because no matter how you divide a state up, even if you divided it in straight blocks, at some point or in multiple points, there's going to be multiple people who are neighbors who are voting and they're in different sections. And also, like,
sure,
I said before,
but the voting maps are supposed to be.
Go ahead.
The voting maps are supposed to be reflective of the population in the area. So yes, of course,
the state population, the total population voting would be the
but
best
that doesn't
way to
work
do
for
that.
Congressional maps, though. because congressional maps are divided by district. They have to be divided by district in order for them to have representation. Like if you're talking about senators, that's different. If you're talking about the presidential election, that's different because everybody in the state votes on those things. But when we're talking about congressional maps, we're talking about the House of Representatives, those are district maps.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that does draw an interesting point. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think ultimately at the end of the day, like bringing up the question is ultimately inconsequential if you're not going to attack the actual issue of the people in power in politics get to rewrite these maps, whether they do it every year or they do it every other year or every 5 years. That is in and of itself, I mean, it's contradictory. That doesn't work with fair government. And so if you're not able to just go ahead and attack that as an entire idea, there's really no argument, or it's completely inconsequential to point out or complain when you see a political party gerrymandering somewhere that they have a stronghold in, because ultimately they all do it.
Well, I don't think that we shouldn't point it out. I don't think that we should. Ignoring it is not the answer either. Unfortunately, the only way to change these things is through legislation, and who writes the legislation, right? So that's why it's important for us to get out and vote. Even when gerrymandering does occur, we need to vote.
Yeah, I mean, but don't you see kind of the issue with the idea that the people who write the laws are never actually going to give the people a chance to vote on a bill where it would strip them of their power to maintain their own power?
That's a huge issue.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is there's no point in complaining about gerrymandering in any specific instance in the United States if you're not willing to just call out the actual system that gerrymandering is provided by.
But we are calling out the system, and that's why when these lawsuits
so what would you? Okay, great. So what's your solution?
Well, that's why these lawsuits happen. That's why the state of Alabama got sued over their districts, and
I know people are suing, but what is the ultimate solution? Like, how do you fix the problem going forward?
That's the only solution that we have. Because even if we did limit the amount of times maps could be changed, or the years that they could be changed, or anything like that, there's still going to be people who are going to make the power play, that are going to try to do things that are advantageous to their cause versus the population at large, because that's just how it works. That works even at the presidential level, right? The parties are just making things most advantageous so that they win. But when we have a legal system,
look at what's coming out from the DNI with Tulsi Gabbard last week. I mean, it's insane.
The whole entire Trump administration is pretty insane to me. That's just my personal opinion. I was talking about the report
about the DNI. Have you read any of that stuff? I mean, it is totally insane.
I haven't read the report, but what specifically? Like I have like the little tidbits from the news and all that, but what specifically is it that you find like the most insane?
I mean, I think it's completely insane that you have a sitting president with the Secretary of State and then the head of the intelligence services, or one of the intelligence services. They literally got caught emailing each other. It's clearly instructed in the emails that are released and they're verified by the government. They were literally saying, we need to generate some information on Trump before he comes into office, and then we're basically going to give that to the media, and like we're going to try and damage his reputation and damage his campaign. So kind of like you just said with the political people, they go after each other. It's all in pursuit of power. It's like you said at a presidential level. So it just immediately made me think of the DNI report that Tulsi Gabbard released, where you have a sitting president essentially doing a soft coup to maintain power through an election year, which is just crazy stuff. I mean, it's wild.
Do you really think that's a coup, though?
I think if the sitting president of the United States is trying to sway an election to favor his own party, and they're going to do that by generating false information to lie to the public.
But that's what they do. All politicians do that. All politicians do that during every election cycle. Like, I personally don't have TV, and I'm thankful for that, because the ads that they run are just completely asinine. Even now, like my representative, Daniel Webster, if you read his emails, he sends out a weekly poll for polling his constituents, and the way that they're worded is so misleading that if you weren't involved, if you're not plugged into politics, you have no idea that you're answering this poll in a way that is detrimental to you. Let's see. I have like some of his emails.
Well, to respond, because to be totally honest, like I know that. I mean, I'm not naive enough not to know that politicians lie and this and that and this and that. But I don't want to change the topic entirely, because I think what you just said is really interesting. You kind of asked me in a very odd way, do you think that that's a coup? I want to ask you, and I'll ask you very directly so that you can give a yes or a no answer, because it really deserves a yes or a no answer.
Okay.
If the sitting president of the United States is illegally coordinating with the intelligence services, and they are literally in discussions, provable discussions, where you can read the emails about generating information and generating news stories that they know are not true, and then they're talking about how those are going to be coordinated in the media in order to hurt the other person's campaign who they're running against. I mean, one, that is using the apparatus of the United States government to maintain power. So instead of people electing based on information that they're able to, you're ruining the amount of information in the United States because you're intentionally corrupting it.
Mm-hmm.
You're subverting the will of democracy. And then two, even worse, and I think that this is probably the worst part, you're destroying an innocent person who's running for office, trying to be a public servant, in the name of serving yourself more power. So do you view that as a coup, or do you not view that as a coup? Yes or no, please.
No.
Explain why.
Because it's legal. Unless they have
legal.
unless there's a lawsuit that happens, they're allowed to do it.
Okay, so if they were, like, let's say, for instance, that they actually do convict some of these people, James Comey, Hillary Clinton, any of the people at the intelligence services. So if they convict those people, they go in front of a trial and they get convicted. At that point, you would have to say, obviously, this is a coup, correct?
No.
So you would still refuse, even if
how are they trying to overthrow the
jury in
government?
the
They're
United
not
States
overthrowing the
were to
government. They're not
convict them
trying
of
to.
this?
I don't think so. No. Do I think that it's
Okay, great. So
wrong?
you
Do I
wouldn't
think that
have
it
a
was
problem.
dishonest?
Okay, no,
Do I think
yeah,
that it's
so-
wrong and it's dishonest and
Got
it
it.
shouldn't take place in our electoral system? Absolutely.
So
Is
you
it a
think it should
coup?
be
No.
legal if Trump were to do the same thing over the next 3 years?
He
You don't
does
think that he
already.
should face any repercussions legally for doing something like that?
He's done that already.
So you think it's fine then?
I
So
don't
you don't have an issue with that
I
happening?
I didn't say that. I specifically
Well,
said
you
I
said it's
don't
not a
agree with it.
coup,
I
and you said
specifically
it's
said I
not
don't agree
ethical,
with
but
it.
it's not illegal.
It's not
so
ethical,
it's not a
but it's
problem.
not illegal. I didn't say it wasn't a problem. I said it's not ethical, but it's not illegal. And I don't
Okay.
agree with it.
So knowingly giving a false news story out on someone else,
He does that all the time.
you don't think that that's illegal?
I mean, he did that to Barack Obama with the whole birther bullshit.
Well, I mean, the question,
Do I
honestly, I
think
wanted
it's
to ask you
wrong?
this because
Yes,
it's kind of a
it's wrong. It's wrong. It should not take place. It is wrong.
but
he
it
can do
wasn't
it.
legal, and we
But you
shouldn't
can do
punish
it.
him for it. That's your position.
Can he be punished for it? No, he can't. Now, unless we start writing laws and changing things, then
No, well, I don't
it
think he'll
just
be.
is. It is what
I
it
think that
is.
the other people will be.
That's
because
why you
they
have
don't
to be
the
an informed
presidential
voter.
immunity,
But that's why
which
you
is-
have to be an informed voter. That's why it's so
Well, I mean,
important to
this is kind of part of my
research
issue with
stuff.
being an informed voter. Is, I mean, I think that obviously I can tell now what side of politics you probably cater to more than the other. But I mean, I just outlined something that literally, in the definition of it, it is the core of democracy. If the person at the top can influence who gets into power and subvert the will of the people who are voting, whether or not you'd view that definitionally as a coup, the fact that you just said that it's not illegal and you don't see an issue with it from a legal standpoint,
That's
it tells
not
me
what I
everything that I need to know.
said.
You're one of the people who is
That's
in
not
pursuit
what
of
I-
power
that's
and
not what I
politics.
said.
You don't actually care about the actual will of the people or what's
That's
good for the
not
country.
what I said.
Explain it again then.
I said it's not illegal. I don't agree with it. It's unethical and it shouldn't take place.
And you,
But
and-
because
you also
it is
kind of
not
are
illegal,
saying
there's not anything that we can do about it.
there's nothing we can do about it. So you
No,
couldn't,
people-
for instance,
mudslinging
create
is a
laws today to prevent that. You wouldn't advocate
Congress
for
would
that.
have to do that, and I think Congress should do that.
Well, I mean, I think it'll be a little bit difficult to get Congress to prosecute somebody who's the head of their organization. I mean, it's their own people, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, now it seems like we're kind of getting to the
But
core
it would
of the
have to be
problem.
bipartisan. So it would have
Yeah,
to be
well, it's a big
bipartisan.
uni party, so there really isn't any bipartisanship. It's just one singular party. They're pretending to fight. For instance, that's why you have every single Democrat and Republican voting in unison to send weapons to Ukraine. That's why you have these people.
Why do we
who are
send
voting in
weapons to
unison on
Ukraine,
things that they
though?
don't agree with.
We're beholden to uphold our part of an agreement with Ukraine.
Your argument is that what we are never allowed to change our relationship or our agreement with a foreign entity, whether or not they go to war with a superpower neighboring them. I mean, you're making the case that any alliance that we have with any smaller nation, we essentially just write checks and back them on anything they want to do. I mean, if Ukraine came out tomorrow and said, we're going to go to war with China, we would drop Ukraine immediately. I mean, if they said we're going to go to war with Israel, we would drop them immediately. It wouldn't even be.
It's an agreement. It's an agreement. So unless the United States and Ukraine come
signed?
In the 70s.
In the 70s. Okay, so 50 years ago. So do you think a agreement signed 50 years ago with today's context, ever-changing world news, and developments in geopolitical activity, you don't think that those should have anything to do with it? I mean, especially when, like, for instance, if you're well-read, 2014, the United States overthrows the democratically elected government of Ukraine. We install a pro-democracy government over there. 2014 is essentially where all of this starts and why we're there today. I mean, it's literally the actual history.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. If we enter into an agreement, right?
70 years ago, and then we overthrew the government that we signed the treaty with. So the government of Ukraine is no longer the government that we signed that treaty with. So that would be null and void.
But the Budapest Memorandum wasn't signed that long ago. It was signed in 1994. I'm sorry, it wasn't in the 70s. It was in 1994.
So 2014 comes after 1994.
It was when I was a baby. It was when I was a baby. Okay. So
okay, exact same point.
So here's the thing. Okay. If we're in an agreement, if anybody enters an agreement, we are.
We had an agreement with a government that used to exist.
When did we back out of the Budapest Memorandum? When did we say we're no longer abiding by this?
When we installed a new government and toppled the old government, the new government, I mean, think about it like this. If the U.S. government fell tomorrow, are the countries that had agreements with us, with the old government, are they beholden to those? No, obviously.
I can't hear you. You're breaking up. No, I'm sorry. Hey, TikTok user, you're breaking up.
Oh, give me just one moment. Let me know if you can hear me any better.
I can hear you better now.
Hopefully getting better.
Yeah.
Great. So yeah, what I was saying is none of those agreements are actually in effect because we overthrew the government that signed the agreements that we agreed with.
But if we're continuing to honor that agreement, whether or not the government has changed, then we're continuing to honor that agreement. Why should we not?
Okay, but hang on. You seem to be missing the entire point. You're honoring an agreement with yourself because you made an agreement with Ukraine in the 90s, the government of Ukraine. Let me finish. So, and then in 2014, you went in and you overthrew their government. So the government that you installed is by your own doing. So you're making the case that the United States and the people of the United States should support a government that we installed in Ukraine completely illegally and completely secretly to the American public.
Well, that makes no sense.
You're advocating for us.
You realize that your argument makes no sense.
And then literally just doing whatever we want, wherever we want in the world with literally no checks and balances.
You're arguing against yourself with that, and I don't understand why. Like, if we were the ones who installed that government, then why would we want to not be in agreement and honor an agreement that we already had? We had opportunity.
So this is a great question, actually. So you are now getting to the point where you're going to start actually thinking about, okay, I mean, let's really actually get into this. So in 2014, we overthrow the government of Ukraine, and then 10 years later, we're encroaching on World War III with
Wait, hold on. So, I need you to stop. For a second. I'm watching a video that's live in Belgium with the police are attacking Palestine protesters. This is live in Belgium right now. This is live in Belgium happening.
Okay.
It's not for you.
I don't know what
I'm
the
telling the
context
chat.
is. I mean, any news story that.
No, this is not a news story. This is someone calling me from Belgium where the police are attacking Palestinian protesters. So I'm going to drop you down. This is more important to me than arguing with you. This is wild. What is going on? Can you explain, like, so that people can hear what's going on? Like, oh, he hung up. That's happening live in Belgium right now. He's calling me back. Hello.
Walk away. The tear gas got me. They got everyone.
Oh, they're tear gassing people?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. All right, well, everybody can hear you, just so you know. Can you explain just what was going on?
There was a bar outside. I started throwing bottles there. I was spinning and shit. So cops came out and started shooting tear gas at everyone. And now the dogs are out. People are screaming and throwing shit at everyone.
Oh wow. Thanks for sharing that. I just connected that person who was live having a conversation with me to show that video that you were showing. That's pretty crazy.
No, it's not. I gotta walk away though, because like.
Yeah. Go. Call me back. Well, just text me and let me know you're okay. All right, bye. All right, so that was happening. That was happening live in Belgium. You guys got to get a little bit of a peek in world news as it was unfolding. That there was Palestinian protesters who were getting bottles thrown at them, and the police arrived and started tear gassing everybody, and the dogs were brought out. So you guys get to see that live. That's what's happening in Europe right now, in Belgium. He didn't mention anything about violence happening prior to that. The bottles were being thrown at the Palestinian protesters, is what he said. But once he gets safely away from the tear gas, he's going to message me, and we'll check back in and see if we can get some more details. But I've gotten a lot of useful information out of Europe thanks to Jeff. Jeff is pretty fucking awesome. I'm not reporting half the story. I'm telling you what I know. We shared it together. There were people protesting in favor of Palestine. People began throwing bottles at the protesters. The police were called, and so everyone got tear gassed. The dogs were brought out, tear gas was thrown. That is what we know to have happened. That is factual. We will find out when he calls me back. But again, he was getting tear gassed, and so he needed to leave the area. I mean, we saw it. We saw it live for ourselves. Guys, we do have the Tiny Diny goal. We got 2 out of 10 Tiny Dinies. If y'all can knock out my favorite little Tiny Diny with his kicking little feet on his floaty, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Bibbidi in here muting. The Tiny Diny goal is right there at the top of the screen. If you guys could hit those out, I would appreciate it. I know they're 250 coins, but if you have the coins to spare, it does help the platform, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Terry. Appreciate you. Tiny Diny. Oh. So that was more interesting to me than what TikTok user was talking about. If I'm going to be honest. And just to answer his question again, if we enter into agreement with a country, unless that agreement, if we come to the table and say, hey, we no longer agree to these terms and conditions that we have set forth in this agreement, the one in particular we're talking about was the Budapest Memorandum. Why did I think the 70s? I don't fucking know. This is what happens when my meds aren't kicked in. But in this particular instance, we were talking about the Budapest Memorandum. It needs to be known, and a new agreement needs to be drafted. If we're not doing that, then we're going to continue to abide by it because it's the right thing to do. Thank you, Teaching to Inspire and Spade Demon. We're halfway there to our Tiny Diny goal. Yeah, he did keep interrupting me. Right. And if we no longer agree to the terms of the Budapest Memorandum, then Ukraine should have access to their nuclear power again. You know? And if we're not going to give them their nukes back, then we got to keep doing what we're doing. He just messaged me. They cleared it out. So if we're not going to uphold our end, they shouldn't have to uphold their end. And in terms of elections, like we do have laws that are in place that prevent gerrymandering, are designed to prevent gerrymandering. But in order for those things to take place, they have to go through the court system. And even then, we've seen that that doesn't necessarily work either. Have I heard from Empathy Tour? Oh yes, my good friend Empathy Tour, David Clayton. His on this app was Empathy Tour. Received a permanent account ban. I haven't heard from him. Matter of fact, we can. He said, "Yeah, the tear gas doesn't bother me anymore. It was about the other people running into me." I can text David real quick and see if he has any updates. Any updates? We're talking about your account on live right now. So Empathy Tour is running for Congress in North Carolina as an independent. He was on a live stream and he got flagged for misinformation, although from my understanding what he said was not misinformation. When he got off the live stream, he shortly thereafter found his account to be permanently banned. Again, he is a congressional candidate. That was his one and only account here on TikTok. He said that he thinks what flagged it is that he made a video calling out one of like literally dozens of fake accounts that are pretending to be him that TikTok does nothing about. And after that video published, he lost access to his account. So he's thinking that that's what triggered it, not when he was on a live stream and was flagged for misinformation, because people get flagged for that all the time, and that's usually not like a bannable offense. They usually just give you a timeout. But you can follow him at Official Empathy Tour on Instagram, and you can find all of his content and updates there. But he is running for Congress in North Carolina as an independent. Hopefully he'll be able to get his account back and his account back soon. I know that was his main source of income for the time being. While he was running for Congress, he was focusing all his efforts on there and using monetization in order to pay his bills. So if you guys want to go over to Official Empathy Tour on Instagram, show him some love. Definitely donate to his campaign if you can. I'm sure he would appreciate that because he shouldn't have lost access to his account. I think that he genuinely cares about the American people as a whole, as a population, and wants to do what's best for the people of North Carolina. And I think he's a solid candidate. He's a pretty damn good guy, and I'm glad that he's a friend of mine. And it's a fucking shame that he lost his account. I've been sharing, as I've seen videos that people have been making about it, I've been sharing them to my story and reposting them so it gets out there. I personally haven't made any videos, but if you guys want me to, I can definitely make a video so you guys can boost it. Good afternoon, Pete Hedgeseth's Bar Tab. How are you? Yeah, they don't listen to the courts in Alabama or Florida either. They were supposed to redraw. I got a whole bunch of Slack notifications coming up. I'm thrilled to be joined by the... Where's Derek? Right behind him. I didn't see you back there. I'm thrilled to be joined. What? Question from a reporter to Trump. What do you say to analysts who worry that lowering interest rates could lead to inflation? Trump, well, if that happens, we'll just raise them. So Trump has been fighting with Fed Chair Jerome Powell about lowering interest rates. And they said, what do you say to analysts who worry about lowering interest rates could lead to inflation? And Trump says, well, if that happens, we'll just raise them. Like, what the fuck? I know it's you, Mike. I'm just calling you by that because I didn't know if you like openly went by Mike. Yeah, he is a solid dude for sure. For sure. Well, guys, I've been on for an hour. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I have tons of shit to get done. I have a meeting at 4 and a meeting at 6. So it's been great hanging out with you. I appreciate you. We only got 5 tiny dinies, which makes me super fucking sad because we usually hit the 10. But I appreciate you all. Do you guys want to do a live tomorrow? Okay, before we go, what do you guys prefer for the time that I go live? Do you want to go live early in the morning around 8:30, or do you want to go live in the afternoon? I'm recording a podcast tomorrow afternoon. Let me tell you what time that is. I don't even know if it's live or it's recorded. I should probably find that out. But I have a podcast tomorrow afternoon. At like 3. So you guys, we have morning, afternoon. I have a meeting at noon, and then I have the podcast at 3. You guys prefer afternoon? You want to do like 1 o'clock tomorrow, maybe? Depending on what's happening with my schedule. Let me check my calendar. Yeah, I only have the 2 things tomorrow. You want to do 1 o'clock instead of 8:30 in the morning? All right, we could do that. All right. So if we go live tomorrow at 1 o'clock, are you all going to be here and meet this tiny diny, 10 tiny dinies? Are we going to do that? We're saying yes? Yes, yes, yes? All right, because we only got 5 tiny dinies today. If y'all could hit me with a tiny diny on the way out, I would appreciate it. It helps TikTok know that next time I go live, that you guys had a fun time, and it'll push it out to the FYP. It doesn't just impact the live stream that we're currently on, it impacts future live streams too. And that's why people who, when they first start off streaming, they have such a hard time gaining an audience, is because people just sit there and they camp. They'll get onesies, twosies, and they just camp. And so if they're not interacting with the space, if they're not commenting, if they're not liking, if they're not sharing, if they're not meeting gift goals, it makes it difficult for you to get pushed out to the FYP. And the only way that we're going to get people to talk to, and you're not just going to listen to me chat, is if we get out to the FYP. And it doesn't look like we ever made it there today. So unfortunately, we only got our 1 friend. Thank you so much, Bugsby. I appreciate you. That tiny diny is right up there, the little tiny diny float, if y'all could hit me with that. But we're going to end this live stream now. I appreciate y'all. Everybody have a great day. Everybody be good. And if you can't be good, be gay and do crimes. Love you. Bye. Have a great day. All right, YouTube and Twitch, it's just us. We're here. I love Opal's comments. ACAB. ACAB worldwide. Demons run the world. One thing before I go. What's up, Jomi? Tell me. Why does my mouse keep freezing? I'm going to charge it and see if that helps. Pray to Jesus. Praise Jesus. I'm very well aware of the teachings of Christ. My favorite is Matthew 25, verses 31 through 47, because it shows that Republicans who claim to be Christian are not Christian. But this is one of my favorite verses, to be honest. I'm very well versed in the Bible and the teachings of the Bible. Not by choice. I will say that. Not by choice. Over the last year, I've learned a lot about biblical shit. But I did grow up Catholic, and I knew quite a bit as it was. But I feel like the teachings of Christ were pretty fucking good. Although I am not a religious person, and I'm not a praying person. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, Jomi, and everybody over in YouTube. Everybody be good. If you can't be good, be gay and do crimes, and join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Love you, mean it. Bye.